Most people believe they're doing their best with the little money they have. They pay their bills, save a bit of what's left, and try to live responsibly. But their lives never seem to change. The reason is simple. They're following rules, designed to keep them exactly where they are. Nobody teaches this truth in school, at work, or within any system, because the system you're in isn't built to make you rich. It's built to keep you a functioning part of it. As a result, we unconsciously repeat the same financial mistakes. Errors so common that even the wealthy make them. The problem is, these mistakes often look incredibly smart on the surface. You feel like you're in control, but in reality, your energy is being drained away unconsciously every single day, and you live without even realizing it. In this video, I will reveal the 7 most silent and destructive mistakes people make with money. Mistakes that most are not even aware of. After today, you will finally understand why your bank account isn't growing, and why your financial decisions always seem right, but leave you stuck. Mistake number 1, always paying off. Debt first. This might be shocking, but that reaction is proof of how deeply we've been conditioned. With a flawed financial mindset, most people are approaching debt repayment completely wrong. Why? Because they were never taught how to properly handle money. When you get your paycheck, what's the first thing you do? You probably handle all your obligations, bills, credit card payments, installments. Only if there's anything left do you consider investing. This is a perfect formula for repeating poverty. This habit sends a message to your subconscious. I am less important than others. Warren Buffett flips this formula. Do not save what is left after spending, but spend what is left after saving. This means you must pay yourself first. The very first thing to do when you get paid is to set aside a fixed percentage for investment. I recommend 10% to 20% of your net income. This doesn't mean you should ignore debt, but it does mean you must first prioritize your future. You are training your brain with a success-oriented mindset. You are reprogramming your subconscious to prioritize your future. This small shift in order is a revolutionary change that shakes up your entire way of thinking. You place financial freedom as your #1 priority, viewing debt as just another regular expense. Mistake number 2, leaving money in the bank. I'm about to tell you something very few people truly know. Most people have heard that you shouldn't let money sit idle in a bank, but they rarely understand the true meaning. Many believe there are safe ways to store their money, without investing in risky assets. So let's ask a question. Do you really believe that when you put money in a bank account, that money is just waiting there for you? The reality is quite different. The bank uses your money to lend to others, charging a much higher interest rate. The interest you receive is minimal, while inflation quietly eats away at your money's purchasing power. You think you are safely storing your money, but in reality, you are quietly losing money. One strategy many people don't know is to store their funds, not just in a savings account, but in a high-yield account or a daily liquidity fund. These financial products allow for instant withdrawals, but they make your assets work for you. You need to shift your perspective from merely saving money to strategically deploying your money. Even assets on standby should always be working for you. Mistake number 3, measuring wealth by salary. Warren Buffett realized a truth early on. Your wealth is not measured by how much you earn each month. For a long time, we've believed that a person's wealth is determined by the size of their salary. This is a dangerous way of thinking that severely distorts reality. It's a concept that traps millions of people in an invisible golden cage. Let me explain with 2 examples. John is a high-earning executive with a large mortgage, car loan, and a lot of debt. He works long hours and is constantly anxious. He has no time for himself or his family. On the other hand, Mike runs a small business, earning a modest salary. He has no debt and consistently invests 30% of his income. He can work from anywhere and enjoys quality time with his family. Who is the true wealth creator? Someone who has freedom. Someone who can make their own decisions and has time for family and health. True wealth begins with control and the freedom to choose. Warren Buffett expressed this clearly. Wealth is having a lot of assets that generate income for you, even when you're not working. He didn't talk about a high salary, he spoke about assets that work for you. This is the crucial difference in mindset that separates true wealth creators from the well-paid poor. Mistake 4. Working only for money. This brings us to the fourth mistake, working solely for money. The real core of what I'm trying to say is this: you should work in a way that genuinely creates value for others. The moment you shift your focus from "how much can I earn" to "how much value can I create?" amazing things happen. People will recognize your light. For example, a restaurant server can provide immense value through a genuine smile and a proactive attitude. True value lies more in how you do something than in what you do. Most people are simply selling their time. That's why they're always stuck in the same place. In contrast, genuinely prosperous people work to build freedom and influence. For them, money is always a result, not the goal. Warren Buffett said, "If your only income is a salary, you are always trapped." But when you start focusing on creating immense value, two things happen simultaneously. You become an extremely valuable person, and you start to see more and more opportunities beyond your current job. Mistake number 5. The myth of working hard. This is probably the most successful lie created by the modern financial system. The simple formula that the more you sweat, the more money you earn is a narrative that we were all thoroughly trained with. But let's face reality, the people who sweat the most often earn the least. Excessive effort-based workaholism fundamentally clashes with the true nature of wealth. As we've seen, the core of wealth is freedom. If you're constantly exhausted, have no time for family, and can't even enjoy the present, what kind of wealth is that? True wealth is not something you can achieve through simple physical labor. It comes from strategic thinking and the ability to leverage time, knowledge, and the influence of others. As Warren Buffett said, even if you run on a treadmill all day, you'll still be in the same place. No matter how fast you run, if you're on the wrong track, you will never reach your desired destination. Mistake number 6. The need for approval. This is the sixth cruel error: seeking permission to grow. If you're waiting for someone's "okay," you've already lost. Wealthy people don't wait for approval. They don't need anyone's permission. They don't seek consensus for their financial decisions. Most ordinary people ask for opinions from their bosses, friends, family, and countless others, and end up stalled. They end up waiting for the illusion of a consensus and miss out on precious life opportunities. This is a behavioral pattern, unconsciously internalized throughout our society, from childhood. The truth is this: as long as you leave what you can do in someone else's hands, it will never get done. Why? Because other people aren't interested in your project. The best way to overcome this is by building a firm financial identity. It's about knowing who you are and what you want, regardless of others' opinions. You can start with a simple exercise for the next 30 days. Before making any purchase or taking any action, ask yourself, am I doing this for myself or to look good to someone else? Mistake number 7. Seeking quick fixes. This is the seventh and final error. What do people do? They become disappointed because they didn't get the support of their family or friends. They start looking for shortcuts or magical solutions. Since nobody believes in me, I'll get rich quickly to show them all. This leads many to fall for unverified, fraudulent investments and high-risk schemes. The desire to prove their worth to others ends up destroying the very foundation of the prosperity they were building. The obsession with social approval is one of the biggest obstacles to establishing a financial identity. When we live to impress others, our resources are wasted on pointless attempts to maintain appearances. A practical way to overcome this starts with a much more powerful practice: repeating specific financial affirmations daily. A truly effective affirmation is a statement that confronts and breaks through the internal barriers holding you back. Every morning, declare to yourself, I am wealthy, I am free, I am a steward of opportunities. Embracing your inner power means recognizing that all financial states, whether of abundance or scarcity, ultimately stem from a state of mind. The external world is merely a reflection of what already exists within you. If your mind is programmed with limitations, you will see only obstacles. If your consciousness is tuned to possibility, you will find opportunities. This shift in perception requires consistent practice. You've just taken your first step toward real freedom. But the journey has just begun. These 7 errors are subtle but powerful, and correcting them starts with a shift in your mindset and a commitment to new habits. It's time to stop playing the game by everyone else's rules and start creating a life of true wealth and freedom.